The cannabis community includes a diverse set of activists and nonprofits working to end the prohibition of marijuana. We take the time to hear the stories of reform on the Russ Belville Show's Cannabis Community Chat.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Radical Russ here with 420 Radio. We got a special guest joining us here, and you're welcome to identify yourself any way you like. Welcome to the show. Could you introduce yourself?
Thank you. Yes, my name's Jacob Jones. I guess I'm a co-founder of CannaSense and the Cannabis, and I'm a valedictorian from Oaksterdam University.
Excellent. So the Cannabis, let's start with that one.
Yes. The
Tell us about it.
We picked up the Cannabis in North Carolina in October, and we toured 15 states before bringing it to Arizona.
Yeah?
Yeah. Then for the Emerald Cup, we took the Cannabis up to Northern California, to Humboldt County, where we kind of got some resentment there, but that's another story.
Now, the Cannabis is just a bus with...
Oh, yeah, it's an 88-year school bus, and it's been decked out for marijuana legalization.
Okay.
Yes.
So you travel from event to event, kind of rally people?
Yes, we let local cannabis organizations from state to state just use the bus for a day and just help with their efforts.
All right. And what was the other group you're with?
Oh, CannaSense.
That's right, CannaSense.
Yes. It's a foundation me and my cousin started. We're both drug war victims. My father was murdered in front of me 20 years ago in Kentucky for growing 25 plants, and
this is a case I believe that we've covered before on our show, where it was a kind of a raid upon his property, and he just stood his ground and said, no. Can you explain a little?
No, that's exactly right. That Sunday morning in 1993, helicopters came to our property, and they demanded my father cut down his medical crop, and he refused. He said, "I'm over my dead body," and then that started a peaceful 8-hour standoff in their mind. Yeah,
I think I saw this on the news in the 90s when coming up. And you were what age?
I was 4 years old.
4 years old. And so as a 4-year-old, you're old enough to know something really bad's happening, obviously.
Well, in the beginning, I actually didn't really comprehend what was going on. My strongest memory of that day is actually when I did realize that law enforcement was there to cause harm to my family.
Yeah.
To where at that point, there was like 30 law enforcement present outside of our property. And I ran inside our trailer, and there were multiple helicopters flying above us at this point too. And I ran inside our trailer to my toy box, grabbed a little toy sword, ran back outside, and just wove it through our chain link gate. And in my mind, again, 4 years old, I thought that just saved the day. In my mind, that gave me peace of mind.
Yeah.
And moments later, they asked my father to approach them for the first time in 8 hours, and he did so armed. He armed himself. He was a Vietnam veteran, and he approached the chain link fence, and they asked him to put his hands in the air, and he did with the weapon. And he continued to walk toward them, where they asked him to disarm himself, and then again he refused for his property and his rights. And he was just approaching them for negotiation, and moments later they concussion grenade, and they chose to fire military grade weapons toward me, my mother, and my father. And
I think a remarkable part of this is how you are focused and calm and have directed what I would think would be an unquenchable rage about this, but you seem to have focused it in a very positive way.
Well, that's taken 19 years.
Yeah, I'll bet. I bet it takes a while.
Yeah. Now my cousin kidnapped me and took me to Oaksterdam 2 years ago, to where
Did you not want to go?
Oh no, I did, but I was used to Kentucky law, to where they can just shuffle killing my dad and just calling that justice in front of me. And I mean, that's still yet those officers involved thinks that was just, and the community neglected us, and that was just my fault.
I mean, in a situation like this, when we see these things go down, they get investigated by the police, and they always say, no, they were following procedure, everything was just by the book. And the next thing you know, these guys that were the officers become the sergeants, become the lieutenants, become the captains. Are they still officers in that Kentucky area?
Oh, yes, they are. They still hold power.
Wow.
And they still believe it was just.
Now, are you still living in Kentucky, or are you here on the West Coast now?
I actually am just living on the cannabis now. We're starting a 48-state tour, and I'll be living on the cannabis. I did get reaccepted into the University of Kentucky as a community and leadership development major, and
that seems appropriate.
Oh yeah, so I'll be going back as a full-time cannabis activist to my college. So.
One of the things that I think our opponents don't understand is the harder they push us, the harder they squash it, the stronger we grow.
Exactly.
And it's through stories like yours where you take an unimaginable thing for a 4-year-old to have to go through, and through I'm sure years and years of working through that, develop it into a positive and develop it into an activist who will not be stopped. Now I can sense it in you that this is your life's goal now, and you won't stop with this.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so folks, again, let's give if you got websites or emails, if people want to get in touch with you, how can they do it?
Oh yeah, so Cannasense, CANNASENSE.org, and Cannabus.us. That's our new website. That's
.us, yeah, Cannabus, CANNABUS.
Yes.
.us. Okay, check those out. Help out as much as you can, because these are the true stories that motivate all of us in this movement. And I meet so many people that are activists, and I find that activists come from 3 different camps. One is they got, pardon my language, fucked by the man. Number 2, they got ill. They needed it medically. And then there's a small group that are just ideologically, this is wrong and it shouldn't be happening. It's obvious to see why the first 2 groups get involved. What would you say to convince some of those people who've never been busted, they're not sick, they're here at the Cannabis Cup, and they're like, well, gee, I got my rec, I'm almost legal, why should I fight for legalization? Tell them why.
That's an interesting question.
I'm known for that.
Let's see. I mean, the obvious thing at first, without my story, would just be the wasted resources that we do, and just the morality of it, and just the fact that it was made illegal to begin with, and that was wrong. Just the whole, not conspiracy, but just the truth behind it, that they just didn't like hemp. And, I would just start with that, and then say, still yet, prohibition is everywhere. Every 42 seconds we have an arrest, and stories like mine still are not over. In Michigan, in 2011, a little boy had to watch his father die, 3-year-old boy, because law enforcement said he smelled marijuana on the premises. And
just the smell?
Yes, just the smell, and then he got Child Protective Services involved. And the father, of course, resented, and that caused his death as well.
It's senseless. This is why we're here. This is why we're fighting for legalization, because as long as marijuana is illegal, it's contraband. As long as it's contraband, it's excuse for the cops to mess with you, to find some other reason to arrest you. So we've got to make it legal. Decrim's not enough. Medical's not enough. We got to go all the way with this. So what's next? Where do you head next as far as the cannabis goes?
Okay, as far as the cannabis will be getting a makeover in the upcoming months. The name will be changed to Green Bus Tour for Cannabis Freedom. And,
okay.
Yes, and we will be starting off in Denver in April the 20th and be making our way.
I'll be there.
Yeah, so will we.
Right on.
Then we will be making our way down through Texas and Oklahoma, supporting their state's efforts. They both have state bills. And then we'll be making our way over to Georgia for the May 4th Great Atlantic Smokeout, I believe.
Oh, yeah. That's, I'm really glad that we've got more people fighting in the South.
Yes.
For legalization, because everybody thinks that it can't happen there, but I know a lot of Southerners who are ready for it to happen. I think what the South suffers from more is just we can't talk about it. That's all.
Exactly, yeah.
Is that what you found?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm from Kentucky, and that's, after coming back from Oaksterdam, I really helped inspire them to get active again, and of course, a lot of people still are hush-hush about it.
Yeah.
But, they do risk a lot. In Indiana, just people get fired just for their Facebook involvement.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's
sad. Well, I want to end this on a positive note, so here it is. Happy 420, everybody! Yeah. It's 420 in Los Angeles, California. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
We appreciate your story, and we will have a clip of this available for you. I'll get you my card and everything, all right? Thanks so much. Celebrate 420, everybody.
Have you ever met that funny reefer man? Reefer man. Have you ever met that funny reefer man? Reefer man. If he said he swam to China, he would sell you South Carolina. Then you know you talking to that reefer man.